But dude, the safety systems,
top notch.
It was,
yeah.
It was fucking crazy. Like, I remember seeing the car come in, airbags go off, we're on our side, nothing hurt, which doesn't mean adrenaline's not doing stuff, but like, I don't know. It just, everything worked.
Yeah. It's just like, you okay? I was like, yep, you okay? Yep. And then we unbuckled and stood there and it was like, under said the thing, and some lady came and kicked the windshield in.
Hey everybody. So this is a video I actually didn't really expect my channel to ever have, and not a video I clearly was going to look forward to ever making. A couple of our friends actually were just in a car crash. They got sideswiped by a driver who ran a red light. And it's sort of, you know, I have really mixed feelings about these sorts of videos. I find that the comments just kind of bring out the worst of humanity sometimes, where people completely forget that, you know, these are just normal people that were involved in this, and you know, and everybody's an engineer when they're sitting in front of their monitor, it turns out, and everybody knows how things could have been built better. But, you know, these are a couple great friends of ours, and, you know, their vans are built the way many vans are built in kind of the circles we run in, which is, you know, we're rock climbers. We just are out there, you know, for the climbing. We don't, you know, a lot of these people buy their tools, they kind of cobble their way through this, and the van serves the purpose they need, which is that it's a vessel to travel in. They don't have engineering backgrounds and such. So yeah, this kind of sucked. The van is totaled. It ended up being sideswiped by a truck and being knocked onto its side. So this is, I mean, it's just fascinating. We actually picked them up a couple of days ago when they got checked over at the hospital. And now we're just here today to basically clean their stuff out. Hold on, someone's pulling in today. All right, so since the day I recorded that video in my truck, that day I was basically just waiting at kind of like the salvage lot for my friends to show up, and I was basically there to help them get some of their stuff out. It's been about a month since then. Health-wise, you know, no lasting effects from this accident. And in terms of insurance payout, my friends are happy. They had State Farm insurance. The driver at fault had Geico, and they're content with the payout from the insurance. They did get some money for like the build components and such. So in terms of that, you know, that's all great news. So today, you know, I would just like to kind of document like what happened to the van, what happened to the build out, as a result of this accident. Now, this footage from the clean out process, it was hard for me to capture. I don't enjoy having a camera in my face, especially at times like these, which I think can just be kind of vulnerable and raw, like everything you had essentially just got kind of crushed. So a lot of the footage you'll see is kind of shaky. It's not professional. Some of it I'm only going to include because the audio actually, as we're discussing things, I think is of interest. But, you know, so please be patient with the footage. Sorry it's not some kind of polished masterpiece work. But with that said, I think a good place where we're all on the same page is to just kind of give a quick little demonstration here on the workbench about what actually happened in this accident. This little model van here, this will be our friends here traveling in their van. And this car here will represent the driver at fault. And essentially this was a four-way intersection with essentially a turn lane in each direction, right? So there's two lanes going this way, but this is a turn lane. We've got turn lanes at all 4 points. So our friends were traveling through this. They had a green light. This driver was just, didn't see that they had a red light. They ended up T-boning him right here. This flipped their car, and they ended up sliding into opposing traffic, which thankfully, you know, nobody was there, and kind of coming to rest. This distance, I wasn't there. It sounded it was somewhere between like 50 and 70 feet, and they were essentially up against a curb on the opposite side of the road. So that's basically what happened in the accident. And now let's kind of see kind of the aftermath of that and what happened with the van. So let's first address how the actual van did, the ProMaster. And I think our friends were just very happy to be basically more or less unscathed. And just looking at the van and how it took the impact is pretty impressive. The impact seemed like it definitely hit on the B-pillar, which protected the passenger fantastically. And then just like looking at the whole body of the van, there's so much deformation, but basically that helped to just absorb all of that force. And you can see if you stand back, I'm not sure if the camera will capture it, almost seems like the entire, you know, you've got a bow there and this wall's basically, looks like it's been straightened out, kind of structurally. Seems like the whole thing has been nudged. Even the hood, you can tell like the hood has come over a little bit. You can see there's almost no clearance here. And over here you've got a slightly wider gap. So it's like the whole van, I mean, did what it was supposed to, you know, it's got crumple zones. Yeah, the whole thing kind of shifted, and you know, thankfully everyone's okay. Damn, Eric, well, I'm not sure, I'm just geeking out now.
Yeah.
Check out this. Oh, that must be from when you landed. The way this is all compacted over here.
Yep.
Look at how that crushed. Because look, this styrofoam block is fine.
Yeah. If you go outside, you can see the whole top right there. It's crushed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Just the driver's side of the van. That's that point that impacted when they got flipped. Bunch of skid marks. Yeah. In the front seats, the, you know, steering wheel airbag and such didn't go off, but all the like curtain airbags and seat airbags did go off. And then when you see that the window is broken, it sounds like right after the accident when they were laying there, there was some concern that, you know, maybe the lithium batteries would short or, you know, fire. It is just kind of a panicky moment. So it sounds like with the help of some bystander, they actually ended up kicking out the windshield so they could get out of the vehicle. It was the only way to get out. So that is basically why the windshield is broken. But besides that, you know, they're fine. I mean, that is fantastic engineering. Thank you, Dodge. Thank you, Ram ProMaster. Fiat, I think, owns them, but whatever, you know, thank you. All right, and then after the safety systems, let's move on to actually how the conversion handled this accident. Now, this is not a professional conversion, and I think it might be best to just let our friend describe her conversion in her own words. So sorry about the audio on this one. It's a little quiet, but I think you'll get the gist of it.
The build on, I always tell people it looks like a bad art project you brought to your mom, and she's like, oh honey, it looks great, because I didn't really know what I was doing for any of it. And so a lot of it I was gonna have to like kind of rip out and redo and like really overhaul it.
So there you have it. Not a professionally built out van. You know, the first time doing it, not super familiar with the tools or like the methods. But honestly, there's tons of vans out there like this, and I think they are often built by the people that are actually the most enthusiastic to get out there and use their vans. So I think that's all I'd like to say about like what kind of build this is. It's just basically a homemade build out by a first timer, which is where most of us who are building our own vans start. Now, as we look at some of the footage in this van, the white powder, or like there's going to be some brown powder as well in the kitchen that might come into play. That is actually spices, and then actually a big thing is sugar that exploded everywhere. So at first we were wondering what this white powder was, and it turns out it's just sugar. But anyways, in case you're wondering what that is in the footage. Just looking at the van after the crash, you know, the van was tipped on its side, and then when it was tipped back upright, you know, that's almost like two kind of jarring forces. But overall, there were overhead cabinets all along the driver's side of the van. And when the van was tilted back upright, those came crashing to the ground. Below that, the kitchen actually stayed attached to the wall. The wall there is pretty dented, the sheet metal, but it actually stayed fixed against the wall. Over here, this whole kitchen is now kind of got a little wing, but there it is. The electrical cabinet with the batteries, it like kind of partially came detached. You can see it's kind of leaned away from the wall, and the batteries did come free, which is pretty dangerous, but everything stayed like in its general location. As for the bed platform, we'll talk about that in just a little bit, but that totally came detached as well. Good. Wait, so hold on. So these cabinets were on the wall still when you guys were on your side?
They were on our side, yeah.
Okay.
All of them were.
All of them, even that one too, and everything?
Yeah, so this one right here was never actually attached to the wall. It was just attached to cabinets on either side of it. And so you can see where the front one, the wood ripped off the wall where it was bracketed to the wall.
Oh yeah, it's like a 2x4. Oh no, it's like a 1x something you just split.
Yeah. 1x6.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh wow, so that didn't actually fall off the wall until you guys got rocked back over?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think that one ripped off all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, first thing I'd like to talk about is things that didn't break. And it has to be understood that, you know, a system will fail at its weakest point. So the things that didn't break, I don't actually know how much stronger they were. I would just like to say that. So when I identify this one thing that didn't break, I don't actually know how much stronger it is. I just know that it was stronger than the breaking point. And the thing that didn't seem to break anywhere, seemed to be glued joints. There was adhesive used to glue furring strips to the walls. Those stayed. And then inside the actual cabinets, when there were joints that were glued and screwed instead of just screws, those also didn't break. So I think glued joints as a whole won out. So these two are just combined together.
Yeah, this was into the wall, and there's something on this side of the wall, and this was here.
So then on the wall, there's that piece of wood that split, and that's this part. So that's funny, that actually didn't fail because of the screw failure. The wood cracked. And then you had another bracket through the roof. I think I saw one still up there.
Yep.
Damn, it's kind of funny that, is this just screwed or screwed and glued?
The cabinet, screwed and glued.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Every glue joint survived.
Yeah.
That said, what did break? We have multiple kind of failure systems. First off, we had screws that just pulled through. This includes like these short little screws on the wall, as well as some like really long pocket hole screws into 2x4s. Those also were failure points. Hey man, so behind these, is there like wood framing behind the panels?
Yeah, so I took 1x4s, I think is what it was, and kind of like glued and screwed them to like the ribbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then screwed up all of this on top of it.
Well, it's crazy to me that this many little screws, you know, it's funny how like these screws had no problem holding, but this was obviously the weak point and there's way more of them, so.
Yeah, so this was actually, this was only into the cabinet backing.
Oh yeah.
And then this is what's screwed on. This was part of the cabinet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then.
So that ripped away from the cabinet?
Yeah. So this is just like part of the cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is what the cabinet was. This is part of the cabinet too, screwed up into the ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Look at that. More split, like these screws, look. These pocket hole screws also cracked this piece of wood. These are just straight tear out, but interesting. And then in some of those failure points with involving screws, it was actually that the wood cracked. It doesn't look like the threads pulled out, but I think just like the prying force of the screws on the wood just caused these like long, essentially board length cracks across the whole thing. Interesting failure mode. This piece of wood split. On the back here, these screws, as we said earlier, pulled out of the cabinet. This was a part of the cabinet that was screwed to it along with this. Screws are the failure point on this one. On this one, I don't know exactly how this was built. There's one tiny little bracket left up there. But here, there's actually wood cracked. You can see there was some screws right there. But otherwise, it just ripped this piece of wood. Or, you know, it basically cracked the wood. So different failure modes. Now, there is very little plywood used in this van. So it would have been interesting to see if, you know, I don't think plywood would have cracked like this, but depending on what kind of plywood you use, it doesn't really have much better, you know, like pull-out strength for screw threads. But that would have been something interesting, would be if you did use plywood in the next iteration, or you could somehow recreate a equivalent test if it would have had similar results, or if it would have moved the failure point somewhere else. Now, another thing I'd like to point out is that this bed platform was made using those IKEA bed brackets. This is a pretty common hack to essentially buy these little wall mount brackets, and then you put these big horizontal rails in made out of metal, and they hold your bed platform. Now these just went everywhere when the van rolled. They are not designed for this sort of application. IKEA brackets for the bed, common hack. Did not stay in the track when it rolled. Turns out these are designed for households that tend not to invert. So perhaps if you're using these kind of brackets in your van, just some forethought, perhaps there's a way to, you know, add a couple of screws or, you know, modify the bracket somehow so you can actually kind of hard bolt them into the wall instead of having them just kind of rest there. And then just a couple tiny small details that I thought were really interesting. It cannot be overstated like how lucky they were that there was no shorting in the battery system and in the electrical system, period. I think there was a lot of breakers and fuses and such, but none of them were actually tripped. The batteries did come detached essentially from, they were buckled down, and then the whole electrical cabinet kind of tilted away from the wall, but nothing shorted. And I think that's just you know, great luck. So anyways, we'll leave it at that. That was very lucky.
This is the bottom of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a breaker. It's meant to work that way. And then I just wanted to give a little shout out to Motion Windows. I thought it was pretty humorous that you can see this little side window. It just got ground against the concrete or against the pavement as this van was sliding, and this window still worked flawlessly, and I thought that was pretty humorous. I always enjoy Motion Windows and their products. This thing, quite the slide. Still fully functional. That's pretty badass. See the skid marks? And then the last thing I wanted to say is just more on like the kind of sentimental value. You know, this entire van of stuff, but at the end of the day, it all really boiled down to like what could have been fit within a shoebox. You know, a lot of stuff like climbing gear, clothes, all of that can be, you know, replaced. But we ended up spending some time towards the end really just hunting for some earrings that had some sentimental value. Well, at least maybe it like relieves some tension and like anger management, you know?
Yeah.
Oh wait, we got something right here.
What is it?
I don't know, it looks like some kind of...
Hey, it's another earring!
Yay. Keep hunting.
Yay!
And some of them just weren't found. They were either tucked behind some wall panels or they actually just fell out during the accident. So I think just kind of that, just kind of the reality that in an entire van just full of stuff, it all comes down to just a very small amount of it that's like truly sentimental and really has a lot of meaning. So that's just like something, you know, perhaps you'll find interesting to reflect upon as well, because that's kind of just that's kind of how our day ended, and that was kind of the lasting impression in my mind, is just like kind of really thinking about what matters, you know, and what has kind of value to you. Anyways, sorry, thanks for watching this video. You know, please, if you're going to leave a comment, please be respectful. If you're just being a jerk, I'll just delete it. But anyways, hopefully you found something in this interesting. You got something you learned out of it that will maybe help you design your van differently, or just food for thought as you are designing your van. So thanks for watching, everybody.